I was nursing my morning coffee, the steam curling up from the mug, when something bizarre caught my eye from the porch window. At first, it seemed like a faint mist rising from my tomato patch, but as I squinted, the truth hit me like a brick. Murky, chlorinated water, thick with pool scum, gushed through a crack in the fence from Lisa's backyard, cascading like a rogue waterfall into mine. My once lush garden vibrant with heirloom tomatoes, bell peppers, and my cherished rosemary I'd tended like a newborn was morphing into a suburban swamp. My scarecrow, defeated, slumped sideways in the mud, and a stray garden gnome bobbed helplessly in the flood. This wasn't the first time Lisa had unleashed her pool's wrath on my yard, but as I bolted outside in my slippers, skidding in the muck, I swore to myself. This time, she'd face the consequences. 2 weeks prior, I'd painstakingly replanted my garden beds after a similar deluge. I'd sunk hours into those plants, my wife, Emily, joking it was my therapy. But therapy turned to fury as I'd woken too many mornings to soggy soil, yellowing leaves, and earthworms fleeing for their lives. I'd checked everything: irrigation lines, hoses, even ran a dye test through the pipes. My setup was flawless, but water doesn't flow uphill on its own. Then, one unpredictable Tuesday, I came home early, wary of the fickle weather. From my back deck, I heard it, a steady rush, louder than sprinklers. Peering over the fence, I caught her Lisa, sprawled in a lawn chair, phone in one hand, a glass of Chardonnay in the other, a hose spewing gallons from her pool into a sly trench she'd dug, channeling it straight through our shared fence. I called out, keeping my tone civil. She lifted her sunglasses, flashed a smug, dismissive grin, raised her glass in a mock toast, and cranked the hose higher. I stood frozen, my mind looping one thought. This woman is flooding my yard on purpose. That evening, I cornered her at the community mailbox, hoping a face-to-face might crack her armor. I greeted her, mentioned the runoff. Lisa didn't blink. Maybe if your yard wasn't so low, you wouldn't have this issue, she quipped, as if I'd sculpted the land to spite her. I politely asked her to stop draining her pool my way. She shrugged, muttered she'd think about it, and strutted off like she'd just outwitted me in court. Fuming, I turned to the HOA, armed with photos, videos, and a diagram proving the slope funneled her water onto my property. The president, Greg, brushed me off. No standing water during his visit. No urgent problem. Lisa, the HOA's darling, hosted wine nights and funded neighborhood picnics, while I, the quiet guy, had no clout. Her influence was clear, and I was paying the price. I tried to fix garden timbers and a gravel trench to divert the flow. By morning, it was gone, dismantled piece by piece. A note pinned to my mailbox read, "Fences work both ways. Stay on your side." No signature, but I'd seen her loopy script on holiday cards. Emily urged me to lawyer up, but legal battles were slow, costly, and dull. I craved something sharper, more poetic. As a retired systems engineer, I'd helped design this neighborhood's original drainage. That night, I pored over old blueprints, and a spark ignited. Runoff naturally flowed east, right to the crawl space under Lisa's house. A plant operation backflow took shape. I moved carefully, digging a subtle trench across my yard under the guise of a flower bed, working after dark with quiet tools, masking it with sod and mulch by dawn. Neighbors suspected nothing. Lisa didn't notice. I tested it with a garden hose, watching water vanish beneath her fence. Hours later, she posted in the HOA chat a photo of her yappy terrier, Max, snarling at a puddle by her laundry room, captioned, "Anyone else got drainage issues? City's fault." I nearly choked laughing. When she drained her pool again, I let it flow, monitoring as it seeped into her yard, dampened her patio, and stained her siding. Proof of concept secured, I'd turn her weapon against her. At the hardware store, I grabbed black flexible piping, waterproof sealant, and landscaping tools, claiming I was bolstering French drains. The clerk nodded, uninterested. Dusk fell, the neighborhood hushed, and with a headlamp and gloves, I extended the trench, snaking pipes under the fence, leveraging the slope. Lisa's next pool purge wouldn't flood might'd silently feed her own floorboards via a forgotten runoff channel. I tested it with a 5-gallon bucket, then strolled past her driveway, spotting water oozing from her garage slab. Gravity was my ally, My engineering pulse raced. I laid low, knowing Lisa's unpredictability. She'd giggle by her pool one minute, then accuse a neighbor's cat of psychic warfare on Max the next. Friday, I heard her hose hiss. Through a fence knothole, I saw her tweak the pool filter, aiming water into her trench, oblivious to my trap. I didn't stop her. I grabbed a beer, sat on my deck, and waited. Midnight brought a storm, thunder crashing, rain pounding, far beyond the forecast's light showers. My trench hummed, blending Lisa's pool water with the downpour, racing underground to her living room. By sunrise, her driveway glistened, a dark stain marked her garage, and she yawned inside, clueless. Sunday's brunch was her stage-white tablecloths, fruit platters, mimosas, and grating jazz from a speaker. I trimmed hedges nearby, watching. Kids splashed in her pool. Lisa floated on a giant unicorn, queen of her domain. Then came screams. A guest waded through 2 inches of water bubbling from her floorboards. Opening the back door only worsened the flood. Lisa shrieked, dragging a soaked rug, Max yowling like he'd caused it. I sipped my drink, casually running my sprinkler for cover. By Monday, restoration crews swarmed fans, wet vacs, plastic sheets hauling out ruined carpet and mildewed boxes. Lisa yelled at her insurance, who denied her claim, citing neglect. I smirked. Emily warned me not to revel too much. Lisa stormed to Greg's, demanding an HOA meeting, accusing me of funneling rain into her home. Neighbors countered, posting her old chat admission. She drained her pool into her yard for convenience. The tide turned. Thursday, police arrived, Lisa claiming I'd sabotaged her property. I showed them my rain barrel, gutter guards, and code-compliant beds. An officer shrugged. Water follows gravity. They left. Lisa raged in the chat, calling me a neighborhood saboteur. Neighbors fired back her loud music, stray bins, past gripes resurfaced. A screenshot of her pool confession sealed her fate. She built a shoddy brick barrier, unpermitted, to block our line. I snapped photos, filed a quiet city report. An inspector ordered it down, no permit, no proof. Lisa screamed harassment, tossed a shovel into the street. A Ring camera caught it. The video spread. The HOA reprimanded her, curbed her chat access. Rumors swirled, missed mortgage payments, flood costs sinking her. She listed the house quietly, but I mentioned the recent flood to touring buyers, who fled. A firm audited HOA complaints, exposing Lisa's negligence and abuse of power. A for sale sign sprouted, real this time. Lisa slunk away in a van, Max barking faintly, no goodbyes. Newcomers, Ben and Claire, arrived with lemon bars and warmth, asking about plants and trash days. They hosted a backyard movie night, kids raced, laughter rang. I dismantled my trench, planting wildflowers and rocks where Lisa's water once struck. The HOA, led by Steady Nora, rewrote rules, added safeguards. One day, a cursive letter arrived, no return address. You win. I hope you're happy. I tossed it in the compost, feeling peace. Emily asked if Lisa'd return. I eyed Ben and Claire's yard, alive with joy, and said, not unless she wants a rematch. Was I a hero, taming a tyrant with cunning and pipes? Or a vigilante, bending ethics for revenge? The neighborhood bloomed, but the question lingered, sharp as the scent of fresh earth.